Alright everybody, real quick video today. We're just going to go over some of the ways that the Pro Shop and Custom Gear program work for training equipment, martial arts equipment, belts, things like that. We posted this in the group recently. I'm just going to go over some of the specific details in this. So first I want to get into what some of these details are about the different weaves and different series that we have of kimonos. Now, the main takeaway here first, before we get into it, is that we are not a one-off custom gear company. If anybody wants to make customizable gear for fight events or anything like that, we do that, but our prices are substantially higher. There are increased discounts with bulk, as well as if you're ordering a reorder, a restock of anything with us, then there's further discounts on smaller orders as well, and we could always discuss that with you. The main thing that's really cool about this is that we work with a bunch of different facilities and manufacturers that work with other big brands in the industry. So we're talking about Hyperfly, Shoyoroll, Gameness, Fuji. We're also talking about Moya brand, Albino and Prado. So a lot of the different quality fabrics and designs and weaves are accessible to us. So anything that you might want to see that isn't on this list as far as weave or fabric or color, feel free to reach out to us and we'll let you know if it's something that we can find, and if it's available, we'll make it for you. To get right into it, we have the standard 1 series of gis to start. Now this is a little bit lighter than your standard Shoyoroll gi. Shoyorolls will be around 450 GSM, grams per square meter, and they're a pearl weave, one of the different types of pearl weaves. Now each of these series that we use, the main series, are pearl weaves at different weights. So we have the standard 2 series that is equivalent to that normal Shoyoroll weight. Then we have the standard 1 series, which is a great starter series for if you want to get any gis for new students signing up at your academy. It's a little bit more cost effective of a gi, and it's also a little bit lighter, so it's more manageable for new students. Sometimes new students come in and they're not used to the weight and the feel of a gi, so we've noticed that the 375 for adults has a better reaction for new members trying out wearing a gi for the first time. Then we have the Signature series, which this is a high-tech weave. This is personally my favorite. The high-tech weave is a combination of a pearl weave and a gold weave. Now the gold weave is a great soft weave, but it shrinks a lot. And the pearl weave is a little less soft, but it doesn't really shrink as much. So this is a combination that Control made. If anybody remembers, Control made a gi that was tan with black on it. It was several years ago. That was this same type of weave. And that's personally what got me into wanting to learn more about this and get into it myself, because I love that weave so much, and I noticed that no one was really using it. Then we have the Super Light series. Super Light series is great for competition. It's a super light pearl weave gi, washes, dries very quickly. And then the Star series, which is similar. The Star series is the same weave as the Hyperfly, and that's a little bit heavier, more like the standard 1 series we have. That's a style of ripstop, so it dries even quicker. And then we have the standard 3 series. The standard 3 series is super heavy. Now we can go all the way up almost to 1,000 GSM, but 550 is pretty heavy. If you want to go higher, we can definitely do that also, but we find that this is a comfortably heavy size to use for standard orders. Other than that, we have our twill pants and our ripstop pants. If anybody has anything else they'd like to see, please let us know. And then we have our coloring. Now there's a few other colors that might be available that you can reach out to us if you have any questions, like red. Some of these are only available on larger quantity sizes, but for the most part, everything you see here is accessible for any of these orders. And some of these, the only problem is that, for instance, the Star Series is only accessible in so many colors, but everything's listed out here. Now, you can also see further, you can customize the gi however you want. And if you really want to go further and customize it anywhere else, feel free to ask us and we'll let you know. I'm sure we'd be able to. But other than the logos and graphics you could put in these areas, you can also customize the color of the drawstring, the gusset. You can customize this line right here all along the skirt, the stitching all across the gi. And my personal opinion, the way we make our gi standard is I do the same color stitching as the fabric of the gi, except in the collar, in the cuffs, and at the ankles. Everywhere else is the same stitching color. The only other place I would sometimes change it is in the knee lining as well. But in my opinion, it comes up with a much cleaner gi design than when you're doing contrast stitching everywhere throughout the gi, especially when you're doing a white gi. And all this is accessible in the group. You could take a look. And we have, before we go over to rash guards, the chart. So this should be long. I apologize. That should say L. All right, so we have our main adult sizes. Then we have our L versions that go up to 3. And then for any bulk orders, if anybody needed a 4L, that's available as well. And then we have some fitted sizes. It just means a little bit tighter of a fit than the normal adult sizes. And then Husky is a little bit wider, as L would be a little bit longer. And then we have our kids sizes as well. Then kids do not use drawstrings. They have elastic waistbands. And we always suggest to any gym owners to not really offer these when you're ordering bulk orders for starter gis. It just becomes too much. Your students will be totally fine just doing the adult and the long sizes. The long sizes are pretty necessary for some people, some body types. But you can always get a Husky size if it was needed. But other than that, I would always keep it very, very simple. As simple as possible when you're ordering your bulk ahead of time. Right. And now we have our rash guards. So we have long sleeve, short sleeve rash guards. They're a 4-way stretch, poly spandex, 80-20, and we use a butterfly mesh in the armpits. So a little bit breathable of a fabric. That's something that we can take out. We also have side panels, but across the board, really, we find that everybody is happy with that. And yeah, like I said, we have short sleeve, long sleeve, full sublimation, any designs you want. Our graphic designers are able to make anything you need. And then we have our grappling shorts. Now, these grappling shorts, they're not the typical board shorts. They're a higher inseam, but we do have board shorts available as well, similar pricing. And then we have our belts. We have our regular twill belts, but we also have our Pro Weave belts. And these prices become much more cost effective at the higher quantities. Otherwise, it's not really too big of a deal to be offering twill over pearl. You might as well get a twill belt, especially for white belts and really any belt. But if you do find yourself ordering quantity, the quality of the difference between the twill and the pearl is substantial. And then we have our equipment bags. Now, before actually we get into equipment bags, let's look over here. Along with the kimono chart, we have a rash guard chart. So we go up to 3X on the rash guard chart, but for orders, we can go 4 or 5. And then we have our kid sizes. This is, this is, everybody's body type is a little bit different, but these ranges fit everybody pretty well. And last is our equipment bags. Now, these are the typical, the Adidas bags with the big nylon zippers, but we can make about 15 to 20 different styles of bags. Just let us know. We have military style bags. We have regular duffel bags. We have other bags that convert to from duffel to backpack. It just depends on what you're looking for. So this is our standard bag that we carry, and we can customize that however you like. And then we have other bags available if you need them. And then under here at the bottom, we have additional information on starter gis, youth sizes, and kimono bags. So if you need any kimono bags, we can add those to the orders as well. It's also $1 less for any youth sizes on the kimonos or on the rash guards. And then for the starter kimonos, what I mean by starter kimonos is that we keep everything minimally branded, and we put your logo on the back embroidered. And by starter, we mean for your students starting out at your academy. And for those students, they would get a starter gi, very basic. It would be cost effective for you. And then you can always implement programs to be able to sell additional gear and equipment to your students. So the way that we suggest to do it is something like you have your starter gear that you have in stock. That means your gis, any rash guards that you need for your classes, any belts. Other than that, you plan out over the course of the year 2 to 4 pre-orders for a full custom gi that you build out with all the frills, and you sell that to your students, and then you order an additional 30% stocked to be able to sell to your students after the fact. You implement some kind of discount ahead of time for anybody that pre-orders, and then it goes to the regular rate thereafter. Another 3 months pass by, and you do another pre-order. You could change the gi color. You can implement another product like a bag or a rash guard, or you can do a kit and say if you order the rash guard, let's say, and the equipment bag and the gi at the same time, you get a discount on it. You don't have to worry about any upfront cost because it's all taken care of in the pre-order, and your students begin to wear your gi more at the academy. Now, if you have a general rule at your academy that your students should be wearing your equipment every class, then this is a no-brainer. Then you should definitely have something cost-effective for your students for each type of equipment, each type of the rash guard, the gi that they might need. But then they should also be able to buy some variety if it's only your gear that they're able to wear. So this gives you the ability to do that, and then over time now you have more stock at your academy, and you increase the line of revenue you would get from this second source of income. And this is a huge source of income potentially for your academy that could just be sitting around if you're not taking advantage of it. Along with this, the pro shop works great, but this is something that we've seen students will involve themselves with in the process for about 40 to 60%. So if you have 100 students at your academy, you could see 40 to 60 people buying equipment when you do a pre-order properly. So if you guys have any other questions about how to implement that and how you can capture money through text messages, emails, and clean up the process to make it easier so that you can repeat it every few months, we're here to help. So feel free to reach out, and we'll answer any questions you have. And we'll see you guys next week.